how do we make the change? If you really are passionate about this, the first step is up to you, and the second step can only come after you've taken the first step.
Today's radicals are tomorrow's conservatives. We've come here because this is probably the best farm in the world. This place is what needs to be the new normal.
This farm was the armpit of the community. It was the most abused, worn out, gullied rock pile.
The pastures were very, very thin, and there were huge washed out gullies in the back. We called it the Badlands.
It had been raped for 200 years.
This is just amazing. It's like a jungle. Such a breathtaking scene of activity. And this has been grazed about 5 times this year.
How do we use the natural proclivity of an animal to do work instead of machinery and petroleum? The principle here is strategic disturbance is the key to environmental innovation.
What makes this farm so different? I think it's all of the symbiotic relationships that mimic nature. You've got cows that are eating grass, you've got chickens that follow them and scratch through their manure eating bugs, then you've got turkeys following them eating bugs. You go up into the forest and you've got pigs. Then you come down and you've got people buying their food directly off the farmer, and then you've got all these young people who are learning off masters.
Farmers around began to see and realize that we were doing things a little differently than they were. They all thought we were kind of crazy, not plowing and planting and raising corn like they did.
It's immediately clear that this is different than other farms. The sheer quantity of life on this place.
Somebody's going to have to open our eyes and say, yeah, what he's doing is great, and it's building our country back up.
In 5 minutes, I can show you 10 things that Grandpa would have given his eye teeth to have. We are not anti-technology. What we like is technology that allows us to better biomimic the patterns. Dad just looked me in the eye and said, I just want to know, you really want this place for your life? I said, yes. And he said, I will never even think about selling this place again. You'll never hear it again. He never did.
You've got your blood family, but you can also have this incredible support group family that can be people you work with or people that support you, and that family can be huge.
The way we figure it,
the new frontier for us has been the people. Managing the people that are coming to see, handling the people that want to get involved, the interns, the apprentices, people grouping themselves based on belief.
I think it's important to be involved in the entire circle from when you have them as chicks to the very end, because I can ensure that they have the highest quality of life throughout the entire process.
Farming tends to be kind of viewed as a man's world, but in reality it's men and women working together to make it happen.
I'm convinced that there are a lot of people who, if they really thought they could, would do this.
If you don't have the character to do what it takes to get it done, then you need to just go get a factory job and show up when the boss says to show up and leave when the boss tells you to leave.
My mom's an incredible person and just has constantly been the one picking up the pieces.
Boy, the future. Whew. We don't know where we're going to be in 10 years. We don't know where we're going to be in 5 years. We just know that we're going to have to keep a good, supportive team behind us, around us, in front of us at all times, and see where it goes.
I don't know what our kids are going to do yet. Right now they're just, killing bad guys and slaying dragons and things like that. But I hope, just like I caught that desire from my parents, I hope that at least one of them will catch that desire from me.
people across the world are copying what's going on here, and this farm is breeding a whole new kind of entrepreneur.
I like to call it living food. I grow it all the way through, I harvest it. It's hard to change people, but when you get good food in their mouth, they want to change themselves. I'm friends with chefs, and every one of them is jealous that I get to pick each tomato hand-picked that I will be using.
We use 90% of our produce from the local community. We change the menu at least every week, and it's based on the product coming in. It's healthy. You don't have to go on a diet when you eat delicious food. You know, sometimes people say, oh, a diet means bad tasting food. For me, it's a diet is a lifestyle, just as my job is a lifestyle, and we eat really healthy and it's delicious. There's no better food.
Keep it decentralized and keep empowered people autonomous to create their own income packages and what they like to do.
Joel has always been kind of an out-of-the-box thinker.
If the Lord wants you to do this, He'll bring customers to you. And I said, let's try it and see.
I oversee the buying clubs. That's kind of been my baby. I took it over from Uncle Art when it was about 30 people, and it was a perfect job for a new mom. It's grown to being from about 30 families to a little over 5,000 families.
The food movement is, you know, about a lot more than food. It's really about community, and food has always been a way for forging community.
I think the farther away we get from the natural world that we evolved to exist in, the worse off we're going to be.
Once I found out that they were delivering, you know, a couple miles from my house, I was all over it.
I would like to see more people be responsible for their own actions, not trying to point the blame to somebody else. You did this to me. Well, it's what you're putting in your body, and it's what you are doing, and what you're doing to your kids, and you're doing to your economy and environmentally.
We were blind to it for my entire time growing up. You know, for 45 years, I didn't think about it. I just went to the supermarket like everyone else and picked up the package and assumed that things were always right with the world.
Most of us eat thoughtlessly, and then that's how we got into this trouble.
People are just waking up because there's just all over. People are finding out about what's happening to our food system.
And the more they learn, the more they seek out different kinds of foods, and they eventually find their way to a farmer like Joel.
And then you start feeling better, which makes you have more energy for your family and to do more things, and you can't afford not to do it.
The idea that we could take beautiful food off the land and heal it at the same time, that's a very hopeful lesson, because it's bigger than food or farming. It suggests that as long as the sun shines, there is a free lunch, and that you can capture that energy and run it through a system and not diminish the world.
What we've seen here is the future face of our food system, how we grow it, buy it and eat it, and it really could be the thing that saves us.
This repopulating the land with farmers who build community is extremely gratifying.
You need people on these farms to run them and do them successful. And I think Joel's way is going to be the future.
You get the symbiosis of all those nests being in proximity. Now you've got a bunch of songbirds that are really singing some hallelujahs, and that's exciting.